All right, so question number 10 is about making a restriction map of a plasmid. All right, so a couple things here. A plasmid, first of all, this tells you that we're dealing with circular DNA, which is actually a key point for this particular problem. All right, so it says that we digest this plasmid with BAMH1 and get one 10.4 kilobase fragment. All right, well, what that tells us, right, a couple of pieces of information here. So circular DNA will not appear run on a gel the same way as a linear piece of DNA. So I'm saying that this is a 10.4 kilobase fragment. I'm basically telling you it's been linearized. So this basically means that BAMH1 has cut our plasmid once to generate this linear piece of DNA. Now, in a separate experiment, we digest with XHO1 and get two fragments. One is 7.2 and the other is 3.2. All right, now XHO1 then, so BAMH1 made one cut. XHO1 actually has to be making two cuts. It has to make one cut to linearize it, and then another cut to basically digest our fragment into half. All right, now when we digest it with both, we're going to get three different fragments. We get our 7.2, we get a 1 and a 2.2. Or a 1 and, yeah, and a 2.2, sorry. All right, well, hopefully you can see here, you know, we can start looking for pieces that are in common with all these different digests. Well, the 7.2 here hasn't changed. All right, so the XHO1 cleavage is producing that 7.2 fragment. That part of this plasmid hasn't changed at all. Now, the 3.2, though, did get broken up by BAMH1. That means that this BAMH1 site has to be inside of this 3.2 kilobase fragment. So let's start trying to make a plasmid now. All right, well, somewhere on here, all right, I'm going to put, I'm going to start by making the parts that give me these two pieces here that give me my biggest fragment. So basically, I'm going to put two of our XHO1 sites here and here. All right, it doesn't really matter where you put them on the circle. What does matter is the size of the fragments we get. So the fragment over on this side is going to be 7.2, and the part over here on this side will be 3.2, right? Now, within this 3.2 fragment, all right, we have to be now, there has to be a BAMH1 cut site in there in order to cut that portion into two smaller pieces. Now, that BAMH1 site, there are two possibilities here. It could be here, giving us our 1 and our 2.2, right? Or there's another possible solution. Right? It could actually be adjacent to that one, again giving us our 1 and our 2.2 fragments. All right, so we actually have two different possible configurations for this plasmid. We can't rule them out, but what we can say is that, you know, this BAMH1 site does have to be cutting somewhere between these XHO1 sites within that 3.2 kilobase fragment.